Hello students, today we are going to start with poem Where the Mind is Without Fear by Rabindranath Tagore. It is one of his vastly read and discussed poems. It was originally composed in Bengali in 1900 under title Pratna. It means prayer. It appeared in the volume called Naidaya in 1901. Later in 1911, Tagore himself translated the Bengali poem into English, and that translation appeared as poem 35 in Nobel-winning anthology Gitanjali. Anthology means collection of literary works like poems, short stories. Here Gitanjali was collection of song offerings. It was published by Indian Society, London in 1912. Now students, when this poem was written, India was under the British rule and people were eagerly waiting to get freedom from the British rule. The poem is written in the form of a prayer to God, the Almighty, for true freedom for his country. Here it meant the Indians, they wanted to just get rid of the British rule. They just wanted the Britishers to go away. But for Rabindranath Tagore, freedom meant something else. He wanted true freedom for his countrymen. And we are going to see, according to him, what was true freedom. We will see this in this poem. And Tagore reveals his own concept of freedom, means what actually freedom meant for him. Now see the poem. Line by line explanation will do. First line and second line. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Now in the very first line, the poet prays to the Almighty and that his countrymen should be free from any fear of oppression or forced compulsion. Oppression here means what? To forcefully rule someone very unjustly and cruelly, you can say. So the Britisher did the same with the Indians. They tried to cause as much as harm to our countrymen. They used to force anything or any law on our countrymen. So our people were very fed up and they just wanted to get rid of this British rule. So Rabindranath Tagore in this poem, he prayed for the same thing. He wishes that everyone in his country has his head high in dignity. In other words, according to him, in a truly free country, every person should be fearless and should have a sense of self-dignity. He felt that everyone, all Indians, they have, you can say, right to live life very respectfully. But this was not happening at the time of British rule. So he prayed to Lord that we want to get rid of this British rule so that all countrymen will live with dignity here. Everyone lives with respect. Everyone lives respectfully in the country. Because at that time what happened? All the higher posts in the government offices or any other departments, all the higher posts were given to the Britishers only, and all the low degraded work were given to the Indians here. Sometimes they didn't get, you can say, because of poverty, many people were not educated also. So for all this reason, he prayed to Lord that I want all my countrymen to live a respectful life. Next line, where knowledge is free. Now in the second line of where the mind is without fear, the poet dreams of a nation where knowledge would be free. Education should not be restricted only to upper class only, but everybody should be allowed to acquire knowledge. As I told you that for jobs also only Britishers were allowed or given jobs of higher post, and all other lower level work was given to Indians. The same case was with the education here. Only the upper class people were given education here. Our countrymen also, our country was also divided into different classes, upper class, lower class, middle class and all. So only upper class people who were in favor of the Britishers, like landlords and all, their children were only allowed to get educated. They were only allowed education. The other children were deprived of education. So he wanted the country where knowledge is free for everyone. Everyone has right to gain knowledge here. Everyone has right to get educated. Not only that, the children should learn freely from the nature and the world around them. They should not be forced to memorize some predetermined lesson, and that is Tagore's typical concept of education. For here Tagore believed that students should not be forced to memorize, they should not be forced to learn predetermined lesson from the textbook only, because that knowledge is not the, according to him, the true knowledge. He felt that that was only theoretical. He believed in practical knowledge. He wanted the students to learn from the nature, from the world, what is going on around them, so that they can live their life very nicely and respectfully. When they are gaining knowledge, they learn how to live the life. Where the world has not been broken into fragments by narrow domestic war. Now, in the next two lines, the poet emphasizes the unity of not only his countrymen, but also the entire world. He thinks there should be no division among people based on their caste, creed, color, religion and other baseless superstitions. Now, as I told you, our country was divided into three classes: upper class, lower class and middle class, and it was also divided on basis of caste system, casteism, like Brahmin, Shaurya, Shudras, like that, on basis of colors, Britishers and Indians in the world. For the blacks and white, that concept were also prevailed at that time. And religion also, people were divided on the basis of religion also. So he felt that they should be, the world or the country should not be divided here on the basis of caste, creed, color or religion or any other thing. He wanted them to live with unity. He wanted them to live very unitedly. Where the words come from the depth of truth. In line 5 of Where the Mind is Without Fear, Tagore wants a nation where people are very truthful. They should not be superficial and words should come out from the depth of their hearts. Means they should not try to pretend whatever they are saying. They should not speak lie and pretend something else here. They should be truthful from within their heart, from the depth of their heart. They should not speak anything wrong. They should not do anything wrong. They should always do which will be beneficial for themselves, for the society, for the country and for the world. Where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection. Here in the 6th line, the poet wants everyone to work hard to reach their goal. He wanted to work them tirelessly. He doesn't want them to get tired at any point. He wanted them to work very hard so that they can reach to their goal. They can reach to perfection. He thinks that they should not be tired by working. Means they should go on and on without getting tired till they reach their goal, till they reach their destination, till they reach perfection. People should not be lazy and ignoring their work. He didn't wanted the people of his country to be lazy and to ignore their work. He wanted them to work very hard, reach their goal, so their country develops and they also live a respectful life. Where clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of death habits. Now, here the poet compares reason or logical thinking to a clear stream. Means he felt if the people believes in practically, they believe in something, means reasoning. Means earlier what happened, people believed in superstition. They did not think over anything, whatever the priest or something, guru, whatever they said to them, as they were uneducated, whatever they said to them, these people used to believe and do that only. So he said that he wanted his people to believe in reasoning, logical thinking, and this is possible only if they are educated. So here he has compared reason and logical thinking to clear stream. Means there will be no harm if you think practically on any you can say concept or any point of view. If you think practically, the result will come out correct. But if you can say blindly believe in something, any superstition, anyone tells you something to do and you do it, so that is not going to work properly. And in the next line he compares dead habits. Dead habits here means what? Superstitions. To dreary desert, means dull and gloomy desert. Understood? Here he compares logical thinking to clear stream, and he compares dead habits to dreary desert. Dreary means what? Very dull and gloomy. So if your very superstitious, you believe in whatever someone is saying, you are going to make your life very dull, glooming, and it will you will fail in your life, you can say here. But if you give reason or you think logically over anything, that will lead to help you to live a successful life. He wants the stream of reason not to lose its way into the desert of prejudices. In short, people thought should be monitored by the rational thinking. He wanted people to think rationally, not by superstition. He doesn't wanted them to believe in superstition. First, our countrymen, as they were not educated, they believed in superstition only. Whatever the priest used to tell them, they used to do all that things. So he prayed to Lord that I want my people to come out of this, they come out of these dead habits and believe in reasoning. Where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-winding thought and action. In line 9 and 10, the poet wishes his countrymen to be progressive and broad-minded. He wants that their minds are led forward and ever-winding thought and action. Means he always wants them to move on, to always try to, or always they should be eager to gain knowledge. He doesn't want them to live a passive life. He wanted them to move on, live a very active and enthusiastic life. By the Almighty. In short, we should be open-minded and do something unusual or extraordinary, overcoming the narrowness of mind. Means you should always gain knowledge. You have to means it is not that once you get any degree and something, it's enough for you all. Knowledge is there is lot of thing in life which is left for you to learn. So always you should be very eager, or you should be always, you can say, interested in learning new things. In that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country away. In the final line of the poem, the poet addresses the God as Father. He asks him to awaken his countrymen into such heaven of freedom. Means he, whatever he thought, according to him, what is freedom? Means he wanted them to be truthful, he wanted them to be hardworking, he wanted them not to believe in superstition but believe in reasoning. He wanted them to live very respectful life. He want everyone to gain knowledge. He want everyone to be educated. So all these things he wished for his countrymen. So in his prayer, he referred to God as Father, and he wanted God to make his countrymen aware to all this positive thing. So they live in the heaven of freedom, means they gain the actual freedom. Not only gaining freedom from the Britishers is enough according to him. Actual freedom means having all these things in life. To make it clear, the poet prays to the Almighty, my Father, to raise or lift away his country to such heights where freedom would be realized at its best. Means he wanted, awake here means what? To raise or lift his people to such height. Means they were living, if they were believing in superstition, caste, color, the society was divided on basis of that. Everyone was not given right to education and all. So he wanted to he prayed to God to lift his people above all this. He wanted the people to come out of all these prejudices, this superstition and narrowness of mind and all, and he wanted them to live a very good, respectful life where education is free for everyone. There is no division in the society on basis of caste, creed, color and religion. Here he wanted everyone to be very truthful so that they can development. He wanted everyone to live a very respectful life, and so for this he wanted, he prayed to God for all these things. In turn, he is actually praying that God awakens his countrymen. Means he is not asking here God to get that he wanted to get rid of the Britishers. He wanted God to awaken his countrymen. For him, actual freedom means what? His countrymen are awakened from all these, you can say, dreary habits, all these dull, gloomy habits. He wanted them to come out of all these dreary habits, like ignorance, prejudices, disunity and all other evils which prevailed at that time. Now students, here a great addition from reader Ravi Murthy is I have written here. he suggests that according to him, Rabindranath Tagore wants to awaken the God within us to free our mind from shackles and bondage. Means he believed, Ravi Murthy, reader, he believed that in this poem, Rabindranath is trying to awaken the God within us. When we read the poem, we ourselves also think, what according to whatever he prayed for his countrymen, do we possess, do we inherit all those qualities? So he wanted to awaken the, according to Ravi Murthy, he wanted to awaken the God within us. And it is not invoking God, means he is not praying to God, but he is awakening the God within us. So he is using, you can say, a metaphor of higher self within us. So this interpretation, you can say, is very beautiful. That's why it is added here. So finally we'll see the message of the poem. So from this poem we come to know that if all the people of a nation are not wise to lead a happy and peaceful life free from all evils, they cannot enjoy their freedom. Means here Rabindranath Tagore said, until and unless everyone comes out of this, you can say, shackles of division in the society on basis of caste, creed, color, religion, and education. If education is not given to everyone, if the people are not speaking truth, if they are not ready to live a very respectful life, so we cannot say that we have got, you can say, freedom from the Britishers, and now we are going to enjoy true freedom. Without removing all these prejudices or evils from the society, we cannot enjoy our freedom. This is what Rabindranath Tagore wanted to say from the poem. So to the poet, only political freedom is not so important unless you are fearless, self-dignified, knowledgeable, truthful, hard-working, broad-minded enough to enjoy it fully. I hope you have understood the poem. It is very easy to understand, but it has got a very nice message for all countrymen. Now though we all are free from the Britishers, now though we are living a very good life, but I really feel personally that whatever qualities here Rabindranath Tagore wanted us to inherit here, that is really good for us, and that only we can make us also successful in our life, and that can also help us to develop our nation. So really all these qualities like fearless, self-dignified, knowledgeable, truthful, hardworking, broad-minded, all these qualities should be inherited by us in our life, so that we live a very successful and very dignified life. I hope you have understood. Thank you.